The biggest problem I see with the S mount is size differences. There's no weight classes, and we know there's size differences on the street. We don't get to pick them. Okay, so today we're going to talk about another jiu-jitsu position that is commonly taught in the aspect of cuffing, and I'm going to give you a better solution and the reasons why. So that position is going to be S-mount. I often get this question about being S-mounted or going to an S-mount position. Okay, I'm going to go to an S-mount position to go to cuffing. A lot of guys will get the arm up and into the position on their thigh, and they want to go to S-mount to cuff. The problem with S-mount is in jiu-jitsu, it's really good because in the S-mount, if I start to lose a position, my backside leg makes a pillow and I can take the guy's back and start threatening the dilemma of the backside. The biggest problem I see with the S-mount is size differences. There's no weight classes, and we know there's size differences on the street. We don't get to pick that. When I'm up in this S-mount position, if I'm smaller, maybe my balance isn't great, and Eric just decides to drive back into me, okay, and he starts to put me onto my butt, okay, I realistically don't even want to take his back and have him on top of me from that way. If I take his back in law enforcement, I want him flattened out, stomach down. I don't want to be underneath him where I can't get mobile or move again because of my environment. But again, it's easy for him to put me on his side. It's hard for me to keep him up there. Okay, let's think about probably the greatest no-gi grappler of all times, Gordon, in 2022 was against Victor Hugo. Okay, it's the only match he didn't submit his opponent in, and the only reason he didn't submit him was because he was trying to submit him from the S-mount. Okay, he could have submitted him from multiple different positions. He just chose not to. And after, I remember him saying that he didn't realize how hard it was to hold a much larger opponent, okay, on his side in S-mount, and Victor kept being able to get to his back. He kept being able to put his back flat on the mat, okay, and causing dilemmas. Because, again, size makes a difference, okay? So, understanding, I don't like this S-mount position because, again, the transition from here is to the back, but it's a pillow, and it's to a choke, and I'm putting my back underneath. And right now in law enforcement, choking is in a very high level in most agencies and general orders, so, like, that's not even an option sometimes, okay? So sometimes they'll go to this position and start to push him down, but if he's bigger, he drives into me, you see how I can off balance already. So again, we like our leg drag, we like our knee on top positions, we like to roll them, and when we roll them, we go to this low mount position to cuffing, okay? Once we have one arm behind the back, okay, instead of S-mounting here, a lot of people S-mount in this position. Instead of S-mounting from there, we're gonna go from our low mount. Okay? We don't go to high mount unless we have one arm behind the back. Once we have one arm behind the back, we're going to go into what we call our wedge cuffing position. That is going to be, my quad is going to be a ramp, and it's going to take the space out from underneath Eric's shoulder. So if I have his shoulder behind his back, this is almost like a wrestling armbar. Okay? When I have that, for Eric to defend this, he's got to tuck that shoulder to the ground and start to roll. Okay? So as soon as I get the arm behind the back, I take my outside leg and I drive it up underneath. So I drive my quad into that space. Now Eric goes to roll that position and he can't. So now I can move up into a high mount because I have the space here. He tries to buck me over top and get high. He can't because of leverage on his shoulder. Then I can start to work through the lateral head displacement, and I actually will get into a double wedge to go into cuffing. But I think that the double wedge or wedge cuffing is much better position than the S-mount because we're not going to lose balance in position. If I lose position from the low mount, he starts to buck up and start to get up from me. I'm behind the problem. I'm still upright. I can leave or transition, break him back down.